Today we're going to be looking at the people who fake having disabilities, who call themselves transabled. As you can see, I've hurt my arm. Or have I really? Am I just pretending? If you accuse me of pretending, you are transablist. I really hurt my arm the other day. No, I haven't actually. I just identify as someone with a broken arm. My arm's actually fine. I don't know how this is a thing, but this community even have their own flag. Yes, it's just a rainbow flag with a wheelchair on it. They didn't really try very hard, did they? Just smack a wheelchair on some colors. That will do. I mean, you really had to think hard for that flag. I mean, to be fair, we don't know who did it. They could have problems, of course. Could be disabled. Well, sorry, I mean transabled. Not actually disabled, just faking it, because that's great, isn't it? Transabled, a term describing someone who desires a specific incapability or disability. For example, amputation, paralysis, or blindness. It can also be used to describe those who internally feel as they are or should be disabled. We've gotten to a time where somehow, at a point in the Earth's, I don't know, lifespan, where it's okay to pretend to be disabled. For what? Sympathy? To get out of doing things? What is the reason for this? The term has since expanded to describe some other experiences for some users. For example, some plural systems may use the term if they have a disabled headmate in a non-disabled body. And some other kin or fiction kin individuals may also have reasons to use transabled. What did I just read? It's okay to be transabled if one of your other headmates is trans. What does a headmate mean? Hello? No, just myself. I don't think you need to be classed as transabled if you have people talking in your head. You might already have something going on. You know, I'm all for people trying to be themselves. Cool, I don't really care. You can do what you like. But this, what is this? You're just pretending to be something you're not. Trans-sociopath. A transit term where you wish to have sociopathy coined by a cis-sociopath. People are fake being sociopaths. So I can't wait to wake up tomorrow and just have another mental disorder. That would be so cool. I could post that in my Instagram bio. So cool. If you're out there pretending to have disabilities, you're actually an awful human being. Why would you pretend to be disadvantaged? Trans rabies. I actually can't be reading this properly. A transit term when you feel you should be rabid, want to acquire rabies, feel like you should have been born with rabies, etc. How does one wish they were born with rabies? Baby, these people do have some sort of condition. Attention-seeking disorder, mate. That's what I've seen. Trans-conjoined twin. Oh my god. How are you doing that one then? At least the rabies ones, you actually don't have to fake it. You can go out there and get it if you really want to try hard. Trans-conjoined twin. How are you doing that one then? Oh, just come and attach to me, mate. Yeah, we can be twins now. A trans body can also double as transabled. Term for when someone identifies as a conjoined twin. How can you identify as a twin when you're not a twin? The thing is with disabilities and the things you're going to see in this video of people pretending to be things, 99.9% of people with disabilities. I am sure if they could choose not to be disabled, they would. But guess what? It's not a choice. You're either born with it or something happens to you. I went on some crazy rabbit hole to find some of these things in this video. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Somehow on Reddit, I found this. Benefits. Have your desired allergies. I don't think there's many benefits to having allergies. Have your desired allergic reaction to desired things. Why are we getting a step-by-step guide on how to get allergies? Desired people are concerned / worried / fuss over you because of your allergies. People are constantly looking out for you because of your allergies. Desired people become extremely protective of you because of your allergies. Have an EpiPen for your allergies if desired. You clearly don't identify as someone being born with allergies, whatever that means. You are clearly doing it for attention. You aren't allergic to peanuts. Deal with it. Go live your life, mate. Go eat some nuts. Your mum's still not gonna love you. Actually, your mum might force feed you peanuts next time she sees you because of how much of a you are. You might be wondering, aren't these people being ableist, as you say, pretending to have disabilities? On one of these official websites, I actually went onto the FAQs, and it's actually a frequently asked question. Isn't that romanticization and ableist? And then we have a great answer. The short answer is no. The long answer is that transabled people are just trying to feel comfortable in their bodies, and transitioning improves their mental health. Pretend to be disabled. Depression cured. Anxiety gone. Yes, you might now have another mental disorder where you're basically a psychopath pretending to be disabled to get people's attention. But we need to be careful, okay? There's people out there that are transabled, and we don't want to be transableists. And this is what sort of people are transableists. Treat other people's bodies like their property. Are anti-bodily anatomy. Recycle TERF's arguments. Erase disabled people who are transabled. I don't know how I'm going to erase disabled people who are transabled. I don't even know what that means. Trans chronic pain. A term for beings who identify as having chronic pain. Are we really at a point where we can just be like, I'm this, and you just can't argue it? What am I supposed to say to someone that's like, I have chronic pain? No, you don't. Yes, I do. How would you know that? I don't know. I don't really care. Trans selective mutism. When you ID as selective mute despite not being selectively mute. I think you don't have to explain that you don't have to actually be the thing, because we know you're all pretending. When you pretend to have it, when you don't actually have it, yeah, that's the whole point of transabled. Somehow on Reddit, I found this of someone posting tips on how to pretend you have a brain tumor. Trans brain tumor tips. Safe. Nobody requested this. I saw someone talking about their cancer-related trans ID and I wanted to provide tips and tricks. Wow, that's exactly what I wanted today. Tips and tricks on how to pretend to have cancer. Thank you. This is really gonna help me out. Constantly complain about your head feeling fuzzy/hurting. Even if you're alone, this can reinforce your belief. You're telling me one of the tips is sit alone in a room and go, my head hurts. Yeah, you definitely got something going on. You're sat in a room by yourself, talking to yourself, pretending you have pain. Do a lot of research. I know this is common with most trans IDs, but the more research, the easier it is to gaslight yourself into thinking you exhibit those symptoms. Don't tell a lot of people IRL. Maybe one or two, but for one, word spreads fast. And two, at least in my experience as a cis cancer patient, it's horrifying to tell people in real life. Their reactions are awkward. Tell people what? That you're faking having cancer or that you have cancer? Either way, you are an awful human being. You are either pretending to have cancer, so you are just telling people you have cancer when you don't, or you are admitting to people you are pretending you have cancer. In what situation is that ever gonna be good? Rest a lot. My body is constantly fighting and it leads to me being so tired. I'd recommend this one especially. Feign fatigue whenever you can. I'm always tired. I was gonna say something rude, but let's be kind. Okay, we don't want to be transableist. Don't just focus on your head. Cancer affects multiple areas of your body. In fact, when it was first showing symptoms, my arms hurt far worse than my head. My legs and arms get tired super easily. Snap at things again. For me at least, cancer makes it harder to think clearly and regulate my emotions. Don't be a dick to people unless they consent. Oh, hey mate, sorry. I know I have fake cancer. Am I allowed to just be an awful person to you? I am? Oh, thank you. You. I don't exactly know how to do this, but either developed or feign a higher pain tolerance in the area your head is. Like seriously, I personally am in so much pain most of the time. I don't notice minor things anymore until they get worse. Reaffirming yourself, you are a cancer patient. You do have a brain tumor. You are valid. Manifesting a tumor is gotta be the craziest thing. Look in the mirror and tell yourself you have an incurable condition. Don't forcefully dissociate, but if you can do it, it can help reaffirm your identity. I'm constantly foggy and my brain feels like it's being compressed. Is this person even really doing it, or are they just faking it? Have they got to the point where they've told themselves so much in the mirror they actually believe it, and this is why they're giving tips to other people? Should we not get you treated? Let's take you to the hospital. What happens then? Because they're gonna see you have nothing wrong with you. Well, except your personality, clearly. But what do you do then? Just keep faking it? Oh, the doctor's stupid. That doesn't know what's going on, innit? Feel like we should normalize have a choice about who we are. Okay, this was written by an 8-year-old. Clearly. What is that grammar? You choose to be a lesbian. That awesome. You choose to be a boy. Good for you. I hope you're happy. You choose to be a paraphilia. That's amazing. You choose to be black. Do you? Wait a minute. This whole time I could have just said it. Amazing. Come by if you want any tips for me. Does that mean you're fake black? You choose to have ADHD. That's great. Since when does anyone choose all of these? People don't have to go through dysphoria to know who they really are. You can be transgender, be choice. You can choose your sexuality. You can be whoever you to be by choice. Well, you can choose a lot of things clearly, but you can't choose how to spell or how to formulate a sentence. You black? Awesome. But now we're on the official website, okay? Transabled glossary, where we're gonna be seeing a lot of transabled conditions and all their flags. Plurality and transability. Transability also connects to plurality in a unique way. If a headmate has a disability in headspace but is an able body, they can identify as transabled. However, this is only if they want to. Not all cismates or alters will feel comfortable with this label. Well, thank you for clearing that up for me. Yeah, that made so much sense. Oh my god, there's so many things. Trans, plurilabeled, trans ill, dichroramana, disabled fluid, aero-disabled. Every single disability in the transabled community has its own flag. Who is out there making all these flags? How unemployed, how bored do you have to be for fake disabilities? I might actually gain a real condition after this video. Trans-blurry-abled, a physically non-blurry disabled individual who desires to acquire multiple disabilities or feels as they should be blurry disabled. Someone with multiple disabilities. I just feel like I should have multiple disabilities. I just want all of them. Give them all to me. I need to reach character max on Instagram bio so I can write everything I am. Diachrona, someone who wants or feels like they should have the fictional Pxrge or Hananu disease chronically. What the f is this? Have we reached anime disabilities now? I don't even know what any of this means. It does say fictional. So having a fictional disease is crazy. Disabled fluid. Someone whose disability incapacity acquisition. Someone whose disability incapacity acquisition desires or disability incapacity feeling / identification changes over time. I can't even read that. It can change at random. It may vary in response to different circumstances. If you're going to pretend, at least stick with it. What do you mean you can just change? 1 second, you're in a wheelchair and can't walk. The next, you're running a marathon. When one's disability desires acquisition, disability / incapacity identification or feeling changes based on the setting or atmosphere. This can refer to things like temperature, weather, time of day, time of year, elevation, etc. This is just getting ridiculous now. What do you mean you can pretend to be disabled depending on the time of the year, time of the day, and weather? And elevation! You're disabled at the bottom of Mount Everest, but at the top you're not anymore. Oh my god, how many of these things exist? Look at all these flags. Oh my god. Parasoma, a physically non-paralyzed individual who desires to become paralyzed or acquire a paralysis of any part of their body due to dysphoric or euphoric reasons, and or someone who has voluntarily paralyzed themselves due to dysphoric or euphoric reasons. I'll tell you all the reasons for anything here. Attention seeking. Oh my god, it just keeps going. There's more flags, more ones just dropped. I'm like downloading all the DLCs at one go. This is all overwhelming. What am I seeing? Trans-deaf, a physically non-deaf individual who desires to become deaf from one or both ears or who feels as they are should be deaf. Trans-blind, a physically non-blind individual who desires to become blind for one or both eyes or who feels as they are or should be blind. It's crazy to me that you'd have the gift of eyesight, of being able to hear. And sadly, some people in the world don't get that, and you are pretending or wish you didn't have that ability. That's just ungrateful. Trans-autistic, a non-autistic individual who desires to neurologically acquire a form of autism or feels as if they are or should be autistic. That's where all of them TikToks are coming from, where people are pretending to have disabilities, isn't it? Non-anime, someone who desires to become completely derived of any emotion. I don't like this one. It sounds too French. I don't know. That's how they speak in France, and they're like baguette. And then on Reddit I found someone's entire account is just sharing tips to transition to various disorders, and then they posted screenshots of this person who is telling people how to have cyanosis. Cyanosis is a bluish color in the skin, lips, and nails beds caused by a shortage of oxygen in the blood. Oh yes, let me just pretend I have shortage of oxygen in my blood. That'll be funny. That'll be a good one. How do I pick? There's so many options. Which one should I pick? Non-anime? Trans-autistic? Mainly focusing on tips that don't endanger one's health. We wouldn't want someone to have their health in danger, like a disabled person. We wouldn't want to be one of those. Only pretend. A temporary way could be taking blue eyeshadow and painting your fingers, lips, and toes blue. A more lasting way would be taking hair dye and applying a thin layer to your desired areas, purposely staining skin. Causing numbness in your desired areas could be purposely applied prolonged pressures on them. The fact that none of these people can formulate proper sentences just makes me wonder what they look like. I'm imagining someone just sat there with blue all over their face because they think that's how you pretend to have an illness. I'm sure someone with that condition, where I'm guessing it's pretty serious because you have low oxygen in your blood. That's quite a serious condition. I honestly don't know what else to say about this topic. It's actually disgusting people are out there pretending to be disabled when they're not, or have conditions or diseases, when there's people out there in the world suffering with the real thing who would trade anything to not have it. But there's people out out there that just want attention, so they pretend to have these problems. Like, subscribe, and go follow my Twitch, Pxrge_live, if you're not an awful human being who pretends to have disabilities online for attention.